FPL Gameweek 3 deal sheet is in with 3 players in each position you should buy, monitor and sell ahead of the Gameweek 3 deadline, concentrating on the budget defenders, mid-price midfielders and mid-price forwards. Let's get straight into it by looking at the forwards to sell, and it's going to be Spurs' Dominic Solanke, who's still in 15% of sides despite missing game week 2 with injuries, a most sold player going into game week 3. And I have to agree, you cannot afford to hold him with these fitness concerns, because even if there's a chance that he gets back in, then there's no guarantees that he gets in from the start. And the next couple of fixtures, Newcastle away and then Arsenal at home, aren't great anyway. And the extended schedule isn't that great either, with Manchester United and Brighton in there as well. Postecoglou mentioned about him recovering over the international break, so I don't expect to see him before game week 4 anyway. Now, if you picked up Solanke in the Fantasy FC draft game on Sleeper, then I would hold on to him, because it's difficult to get a massive pool of forwards, and I think he will come good in the end. Remember, it's not too late to get involved in draft fantasy this season. I'm going to be drafting with my mates in the FPL community over the international break, and you can too. Remember, in the draft game, only one person can own each player, so you need to grab 4 to 14 mates and get involved on the Sleeper app using the link in the description. It is the best draft fantasy app out there. It's so slick. I've tried a mock draft already. Can't wait to get started with the real thing. And the Sleeper app is also your home for live match scores and stats, as well as transfers in the transfer market, with the window closing at the end of the week. On the monitor list is Newcastle United's Alexander Isak. He's in 53.8% of sides, but he's the second most sold player going into game week 3, and I think that decision is a little rash. 5 shots in the box so far this season, an away game and a red card in a very good game week 1 fixture means that he hasn't had the start to the season that we anticipated or hoped for, but I believe he will come good. He is predicted to score 6.6 points in game week 3, making him a great captaincy contender as well as just a player to own. You can get the points predictions for all players on Fantasy Football Hub with 50% off, win your league or your money back, using the link in the description to this one. On the buy list though, and a popular move this week is for Ollie Watkins. 29.7% owned. He's still 9 million. He's getting the chances. He had 2 big chances against Arsenal that he somehow squandered, but he was in the right position. We're starting to see his minutes build up now, and the key thing for Villa is that their fixtures are now excellent, so you can bring in Watkins for a nice run of games and hopefully reap the rewards. Some are buying him this week, some are selling him. I can see absolutely why some have got frustrated after that start to the season. But you look at the upcoming fixtures for Villa, which are Leicester away, Everton at home, Wolves at home, Ipswich away. This is the time to buy. And if you picked him at the start of the season, these were the games you were holding him for. So do not lose the faith now. Moving into the midfield then, and because Nkunku was on the sell list for game week 2, I've not included him here, but the same would apply as what I said last week, so watch that one back. But Anthony Garnacho, 15.2% owned, the Manchester United midfielder. He has been benched in the first 2 games of the season, and that simply is not good enough. He could easily have had some attacking returns, but he's not really impressing. Liverpool up next. Doesn't feel like the time to be invested. And Manchester United, we've just not seen enough from them yet. And if he's getting rotated now, remember Europa League football is coming straight after the international break. I don't think I've seen enough from Garnacho or Manchester United to justify holding him. So he's on the sell list. On the monitor list, one that's dividing opinion is Crystal Palace's Eberechi Eze. He's in my team. He's in 28.6% of teams. You have to hold him for now if you started the season with him. He's absolutely dodged points. He's top for shots among all players with 12. And I think he will come good. I'm still regretting the fact that he didn't get that free kick in game week 1. He was absolutely robbed there. Chelsea, Leicester, Manchester United up next. Now, those 3 fixtures may seem tough on paper, but you look at the defensive qualities of all of those sides. There's goals for Crystal Palace in this game. As long as they can keep hold of the rest of their players and not make any more sales before the transfer window shuts, He's among the most sold midfielders, but I think you have to keep him. 6.2 predicted points in game week 3 for that Chelsea away fixture. If you weren't convinced to hold on to him, hopefully that is what you needed to hear. On the buy list, Brighton's Karim Matoma. He was on the monitor list last week. I've watched him for another game, seen him get another attacking return, and I really, really want him in my side. I've got no Brighton players at the moment. He's the one to buy. I'm not going to manage to get to him this week. 2 attacking returns in 2 games for him now. Brighton, one of the form teams to start the season. Under Hersler, they look like a really exciting outfit. So you need to find a way to get Matoma in. It's hard to know what to expect in the game at Arsenal because both sides have been in such great form to start the season. But I think he's the nailed route into this Brighton attack. So he's the one that I want to buy. Moving on to defenders then, and on the sell list is Everton's Vitaly Mykolenko. Already seen a price drop, unfortunately. I think he looked like the best 4.5 million defender during pre-season to make a start with. Everton, a team under Sean Dyche, we expect a lot from defensively, but they've been absolutely woeful so far. Unlucky with injuries, so they've been playing with kind of a makeshift backline, particularly on the right-hand side, but that's hindered Mykolenko's output as well. So many better options at this price point. He's under 10% owned, but if you've got him, it is time to move him on. On the monitor list is Manchester City's Rico Lewis, still only 3% owned, 4.5 million. Now, if he can nail down that right-back spot, he could be fantasy gold. We know that Walker's on borrowed time, and I think seeing Lewis play 90 minutes in back-to-back games is really encouraging. I'd like to see him start another game before I really believe in him in an asset long-term, but he's so advanced and attacking. One big chance, and I think when City are lacking right wingers at the moment, having an attacking right-back is really suiting them. It does hinder Vardiol on the opposite flank. That's worth keeping an eye on as well. Another start for Lewis, though, and at 4.5 million, I'd be tempted to take the punt. If you are looking to buy a defender in this price bracket, though, it's got to be Aston Villa's Ezri Konsa. I've already talked about Aston Villa's great upcoming fixtures. The same applies to the defence as it does to the attack. A lot of managers started the season with Konsa, have benched him for 2 games. This is the time to get him off your bench because the fixtures look great, and he is the one that I wish I could get to right now. Again, I look at the Aston Villa fixtures, I look at my team. I don't have any Aston Villa cover at all, and I think Konsa is a great buy if maybe you're an owner of a Mykolenko or Lewis Hall who lost his place. Quansah, if you still held on to him, there's options to go for. I'm kind of regretting not going for him myself as the Quansah replacement last week. Here's the deal sheet in full then. Remember, all those predicted points are available for Fantasy Football Hub members with 50% off right now using the link in the description to this video. While you're there, make sure you're downloading the Sleeper app and get involved by setting up a draft for the international break. It's the perfect time to do it with the transfer window shut. Leave a like on this one, subscribe to the channel as well, and check out the latest episode of FPL Green Room, which dropped earlier today with me and Gianni. It's our brand new podcast. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching.